Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Nights with the Autopsies. My name is Sam.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we are here to talk about I'm gonna get right to it. Like, you calm? Are you calm? Yeah, you calm? I'm not calm.
It's been 24 hours and I haven't slept.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're kind of
something wrong with us.
We're kind of fucking up right now.
I just watched this afternoon, so
Oh,
there's
dude.
literally no way I could be calm about
And
this
we just
movie.
watched it last night. We have seen it the one time.
I
And
wanted to
before
go
I
again.
say another word, we talk about this kind of stuff like periodically, kind of whenever it's necessary, and we'll joke about it. But it's essential for this time. Spoilers for the movie Us.
Absolutely.
This movie get right
I dare say all spoilers.
Yeah,
Like
we can
all the
if there's a spoiler we leave out, I don't feel like we did our job.
we can go no further without spoiling aspects of this movie. So that being said, has everybody calmed down from Us?
No. No. Is no. Yeah.
Nah, I can't. I mean, like, I feel like I better understand us. Because when we walked out last night, I'm pretty sure I looked at you and Dario went with us, and I was like, "Do you guys get that?"
I feel like somebody that had just seen They Live for the first time in theaters.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's exactly the way I feel like,
Yeah.
wow, this movie was way more than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Way better than it needed to be.
It's more
And
about
it's really, really, really messed up.
It's more about the concept and the execution than it is about like the details, and that is a lot like They Live is a lot like that.
Which
Yeah.
is not to deny the details. The
Details that you can focus on are really good. When you say details, you talk about like
Like if you
plot
really
issues
start picking apart the whole like just jumping
Oh,
way
yeah.
ahead, the whole
yeah,
government
yeah.
conspiracy thing, like as cool
Yeah.
a concept as that is, it's like, and if you're just looking at the movie as the bigger picture of the point that the movie's trying to make, which mean like just God knows how to pinpoint exactly what that is.
that is
yeah, yeah.
which honestly makes it a better horror movie, in that you're left with such a huge question mark at the end. You're like, that makes a great horror movie.
Yeah.
When you have no idea what to think about it, or what's going to happen, or what the repercussions are of what you've just seen, that is a great part of any horror movie. And that's just what I'm going to say first and foremost, that Jordan Peele knows horror.
Oh, he
This guy
clearly has
understands it.
an affinity for like that golden age of horror kind of, like
He understands horror in a sincere manner, and he knows how to create.
I mean,
the
well,
crap.
there
Everything
were
about
some
it, from the ins and outs to even the visuals that are important, the visuals that are not important.
there were
know?
some clear homages to The Shining in there.
Totally.
They even made a Chud reference right at the beginning.
Yeah. There's
Like-
a Nightmare on Elm Street on that shelf too. It's
Oh,
right next to the
okay.
right stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the VHS on the entertainment center. There's Chud and Nightmare on Elm Street, the right stuff. The Goonies,
And
which is a movie about people being underground.
And
Just
then
saying.
and
just
of
the
course the shirt that her dad wins her in that opening sequence is a Michael Jackson Thriller shirt.
Thriller. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, there's all sorts of references thrown in, but I think the cleverest thing that he did was to put in those opening the opening subtitles, or not subtitles, but the
Title card.
title card, where it's like, all of these thousands of miles of tunnels underneath the United States, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What is this supposed to be about?
Am
And
I
it-
supposed to know what that means now, or do I just have to remember this for later?
so it's constantly
Man,
nagging.
that's a whole lot of bunnies. What's up with all them bunnies?
It's nagging at you, and that's what like Hitchcock did the best, is like he would give you just enough information that it would nag at you until you
was.
had
like
satisfaction.
in terms of cinematography, it was very like Hitchcock, like very Kubrick, like
Oh, that the title sequence after the opening sequence of the,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the slow,
It was so good.
slow pan out
It
from
was
the
just
bunny.
the whole thing is so well shot, man. The whole
God.
thing.
I wanna
Oh,
watch it again.
Goodness.
Yeah, well, I want to watch it
Let's
again.
pause. Let's go see the.
Just go watch it again
Let's
and
go
come
watch it.
back.
Johnny,
No,
good?
catch a- catch a late night
Cinematography
showing.
was fantastic in this movie. Like every scene was
Yeah, what was that guy's
Every
name?
scene
we
was
just,
a portrait.
we
We
were
looked
just
it up.
talking. We were just talking
Mike-
about him.
Mike
and then me and you.
Gouliakis?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
something like that. Well, he did. Yeah, he deserves his own second on that.
Yeah, for sure, man. And Jordan Peele is clearly just such a great director. Like, he got some great performances out of these actors.
How does he do this? Like right off the bat.
So what?
Like it's his second movie.
What is this
like,
movie
what
about
hell?
to you guys? What is this movie about to you guys?
What it means?
Yeah. What do you think this movie is about?
Sam, you want to go? I have something, but I want to see what you say first.
That's a really good question.
I'm nervous. I don't want to go
well,
first.
well, I mean, let's start with the surface.
Okay.
On the surface,
I see what you did.
on the surface, it's a movie about a vacationing family
Yeah.
going back to a place that the wife in the story, Adelaide, played by Lupita. How do you say her last name, Chad?
Nyong'o.
Nyong'o.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, man, how good is she in this?
She is fantastic in everything all the time.
And
Oh my god,
just-
she's so great, and we get two of her.
like seriously, like
That's great. We're getting our money's worth.
well, it starts off
Two of
that
these for the
way,
price
and
is
then
one.
you,
It's
then it finds out that both of those performances are more layered than you think.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Oh my god. I mean, some of it's people like. I mean, no, I want to retract what I was about to say. I feel like every person and their doppelganger, no one phoned it in, including the kids. Like the kids.
Yeah, the kids were friggin' great, man.
Like
Which
try
is
to
so
get
good.
decent kid actors is hard, and they got fantastic kid
They
actors
did.
on this.
No, they
Man,
They definitely sold
Jason
their
was so
scenes.
friggin' good. Jason was so good, and
So they're on a vacation to a place that the girl, the mom was when she was a kid, and there was this incident in which she met an individual.
she wandered away
She wandered
because her
away.
dad was busy playing a whack-a-mole game.
because he was
very
drunk.
drunk.
He wasn't
very-
doing very well. He was just hitting the same
He was
spot
very
over
he
and
was
over
very
again.
drunk. Clearly, he wasn't doing a good job.
Yeah, well, it was the 80s,
Yeah.
Yeah, you just hit whack-a-moles. It was fine.
It was the times. You
It was
got
the
you got
times.
drunk and hit whack-a-moles.
yeah,
That's what you did.
There was
in the
no
80s.
internet.
So she goes.
That's
So
how you
she
passed
goes.
the days.
So she goes into a like a
Hall of Mirrors.
Hall of Mirrors.
It's
house.
called the name of it. It's
Well,
Shaman's Vision Quest. Which,
Yeah, she
dude, why would
wanders
you name
off
it
the
that?
boardwalk, and down
Yeah.
on the beach is where the Shaman's Quest place is.
Yeah.
She
Also-
wanders into there,
Yeah.
and there's an arrow pointing foreshadowing. Find yourself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was.
Then an owl pops out and freaks her out.
There's a
I
lot
don't
of
think I
telegraphing in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which it's fine.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of foreshadowing stuff, and you don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
know what it is as you're looking at it first. And I'm looking at that one specifically, the find yourself thing. Like I knew that was foreshadowing. I was like, I know
Yeah.
that's significant. I know that it is.
But in
like,
a
that's
horror
probably
in
important.
a horror movie, that's okay.
Oh yeah, man. Like it's not a criticism. Like I really
So
appreciated it. Just because the way that the visuals were set up for all of these sequences, it was just so good.
So she's in a hall of mirrors, and like
And that's a really well shot scene.
oh,
Is her in
and
the
it
Hall
was,
of Mirrors.
and it was legitimately terrifying.
Yeah.
Those were always impressive, and they're hard to do. These Hall of Mirror shots, like in like Orson Welles did one, man, and like friggin' at the end of Enter the Dragon. Everyone does a mirror shot at the end of the movie. Jordan Peele does it at the
Yeah,
beginning.
he starts
He's like,
his movie
fuck
with
it.
it.
Let's start out hard.
So
she's whistling Itsy Bitsy Spider.
yeah, so
Yeah,
that
it's
she
just-
can like kind of hear her way out, and then she
it's so
stumbles upon
unnerving.
a her.
Like, where's that? It's a her.
She's
over there.
She
It's
stumbled
her.
upon what we later find out to be her tethered.
Yeah.
And this is set in 86.
Yeah, if
And-
you're wondering what it looks like, is you didn't see it because you did because you're
And it starts off with a Hands Across America
That's actually
commercial.
for some reason very
becomes
important.
very, very important.
You know, because
Yeah.
it's 1986.
Very
And you see the
strange
girl's
reasons.
reflection in the TV during it, and you see a lot of
Hands
reflections.
Across America.
A lot of reflections. Like there was a lot
the
of
glass tabletop.
it's
Anyway.
always TVs and windows.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, technology is a recurring theme of
Yeah.
sorts in this for sure.
But the theme of reflections was very significant in a lot of scenes. So, but anyway, it jumps forward to her and her family are now. She has 2 children, and her family are going on a vacation.
And this is after the
to the
credit
same
sequence
beach.
with the bunnies.
With this very strange credit sequence with the bunnies. It's just it's one bunny and it zooms out, and then there's just a wall full of bunnies.
Yeah, it's very Kubrick.
With some really creepy freaking music going on, and it's just doing
no
the credit
explanation.
roll.
It's
That's the important one. There's
it
no
was-
explanation.
I
super-
loved the lack of explanation because it
felt-
sets up the suspense.
Yeah.
That's why Jordan Peele understands horror.
It's a lot of
Oh, he
going
understands.
on.
He understands suspense for sure.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But like it was just like that shot, just like that's one of those really Kubricky type shots.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Like, to me, it's just like this man, so good.
It was like, when I was sitting there, it was like, okay, well, this is obviously going to be a good movie now.
And then it immediately cuts to the first like real Shining type shot too.
Oh, with the car, the overhead.
Yeah, the overhead of the car driving down the winding road.
yeah.
Which
And then it goes to her from the outside of the window, and it's just she's like she's kind of asleep, and she's waking up gradually.
And then you get family banter. Good
Yeah,
old
there's
fashioned
there's a whole lot of
American
family banter.
which was intentional on Jordan Peele's part. He just wanted to portray the family as a normal family
So the dad's
that behaves like a normal family.
the dad's kind of a dork.
Oh yeah, totally.
Can we talk about Winston Duke for a second?
He's great.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
so
who was in
good.
Black Panther?
Yeah.
He actually plays. I
he's-
forget the name of the character, but
Is it
him
Baca?
and his faction is actually like a pretty major villain in the comics.
Oh, yeah, they're heavy.
The gorilla people.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
albino gorilla people.
Oh gosh, yeah. I
But
didn't
like,
realize that
he
was it.
does like the opposite of that in this movie.
He's just
he's kind of being like Jordan Peele.
He's dorky dad in this movie. That's who he is.
He was totally Jordan Peele.
This is kind of like because he's got
Glasses
the
and
glasses
everything,
he kind
yep.
of talks like this a little bit, and like whenever Jordan starts talking about something, and it's. I mean, I think this is affirmed by. I think Winston Duke was on Seth Meyers last week and kind of confirmed. By the time we got to shooting, I was kind of doing Jordan, which is pretty funny. And I'm
That's
just
great.
It's a lot. But he's just typical dorky dad. There's a son who like curses, and they're like no cursing, and then there's that typical funny thing.
Just
that
like
teenage daughter's a teenage daughter.
It's the son. The son's got a lot of energy, and like clearly has a whole lot of imagination and
Low attention span.
right.
So he's a little irritating to deal with, basically.
So it's that kind of kid. And then the older daughter, who's probably like I don't know, like 14 or 15, something like that, and just typical like on the phone all the time, kind of teenage daughter.
Wacky.
Yeah, and just that was very intentional. That they're just a normal family, average family.
This could have went horrible, and it didn't, because everything we're saying can be construed as cliche. And they pulled it off.
It's basically the Griswolds,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It works because the
Pretty
family
much.
has chemistry. The family's
That's
believable
true.
as a family.
Yeah.
That's true because they're not while they are to some degree caricatures, they do
They're
end up,
caricatures as much as any other lead characters in horror movies are.
Yes.
but they all end up having like an extra dynamic to them at the end of the day. Like their characters evolve based on the situation surrounding them, which while it could have been as stupid and reductive as like the Griswold dynamic, it ends up being
kind of do
more interesting because they have to like be a little different than how they were at the beginning in order to get to the end, when we'll get there.
Which, by the way, I think it's time for a fun fact. Time for a fun fact?
Fun fact it up.
Okay. Lupita and Winston Duke not only like knew each other from acting school, like theater school, they were in the same class starting at the same time. And then this is their second movie that they've worked together on. So it makes sense why their chemistry is so solid. You just talk, like people have known each other for like 10 years.
Oh, all of
Yeah.
The chemistry is great all around.
That's so great.
So they get there and
They get to the cabin.
and
It's really nice.
what's
It's a nice cabin.
It's a nice little beach
cabin.
house. Yeah. It's like on the bay, the inlet, which leads to like the ocean or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how California works.
and
I
he
assume that's
got
right.
It's like big surf shit.
he got a boat called Crawdaddy, and
Yep.
it's a terrible boat.
But it looks awesome.
It's an
and
awful
everything's
boat.
wrong with it.
It
But it's
doesn't
got
work.
a glove box.
It's got a glove box.
It's got one of these. Holds up a life preserver.
But you know
They won't get on the boat. Smart move.
The engine breaks down. He Fonzies it up.
It's got to smash it, and then it goes in a circle because it's always it drifts to the left, apparently, and that's just something you got to do.
I had a
with.
car like that.
You gotta adjust for it.
I had a car like that. It always drifts to the left and hit it and start and stop.
It's not a good thing. It's not
No,
a good
it's
thing.
not
for
fun.
that
It's
to
not a
happen.
bad boat, but is it any biatch?
A biatch, the yacht. Okay, so
That's the
I
name
know
of
we
that's
should
the name
wait.
of Josh's boat is biatch.
I know we should wait till we get to that scene, but the yacht, like, it doesn't work phonetically. Yacht, the spelling of yacht
Yacht.
in biatch,
biatch
biatch,
apostrophe ch
biatch,
biatch.
biatch. We're just saying it now. Go back to what you were saying, Aaron. This is ridiculous. This is absurd.
So he wants to go to the beach.
Yeah, they're gonna
And-
meet their friends, Josh and his horrible family.
It's
Oh, yeah, they're
played
the
by
worst.
They are the
played
worst.
by
They're the
Tim
worst.
Heidecker and what's her name?
Elizabeth Moss.
Tim and Eric's Tim Heidecker and Mad Men / Handmaid's Tales Elizabeth Moss.
And they play just the worst people ever.
Oh, they're awful.
And their children are
They're
the
both
worst.
alcoholics.
Oh, God,
They
it's
have
horrible.
they have twin daughters, which
They also seem
that was
terrible.
telegraphing.
They also seem terrible.
They were they were
Oh,
just
awful.
so terrible. Everything about them was terrible. Everything about all of the people in that family is terrible. Anyway,
Pours her a glass of wine on the beach. So what do we say? I hate you.
Oh,
fair enough.
that only worked with good acting. That's kind of silly, and I'm glad they pulled it off.
Perfectly worked with
No,
those
because you
characters.
believe it. You believe they hate each other.
Yeah.
They clearly hated each other.
They,
Obviously.
Can you
oh,
look? Can
yeah.
you get the door? But I'm just comfortable down here.
I'm busy. He is sitting,
Say,
sitting
please,
Scotch.
busy.
please, I'm scared. Can you just look? No, that's okay. That's
Yeah, which I'm at. But it's
Yeah.
it's good. It's
terrible
good. It's
people.
gonna happen.
doing that thing that we always do.
Oh, man,
So
we should use it by
basically,
now.
they only go to the beach to meet this terrible family,
Other than reference the same other movies than the one we're talking about.
even though Adelaide does not want to go to the beach because she has terrible memories of this doppelganger.
Oh yeah, she was, as we find out through flashbacks, diagnosed with PTSD
Yes.
from whatever transpired in the house. She was gone for like, what was it, like an hour or something like that?
It was only like 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
According to the dad.
Yeah.
Who
But-
drinks?
So she did not
Smokes.
talk. So she did not talk for a great
need to
period of
smoke.
time,
Yeah.
and she learns to communicate again through dance.
Because then we find out why. Can we just go ahead and get into that? Like,
No,
'cause,
no,
like,
no.
I don't want to have to talk about this entire movie with that black cloud hanging over it because we can't talk about it because we haven't brought it up yet. So can we just go ahead and just rip that Band-Aid off?
Sam,
Which Band-Aid?
You know the Band-Aid.
No, I'm actually a little confused because you're talking about two different things.
Adelaide is not Adelaide.
Yeah.
yes,
So we it's not fair knowing that to talk about the movie like she is Adelaide.
but I mean that is saved till the very end, so
It is, but we already know that.
we do.
And I don't want to have to talk about the entire movie without being able to talk about that. Like, I'd rather talk about the comparison between what I was feeling when I first saw it and what I now feel knowing how it ends.
Okay,
That makes
so
sense because now that you actually have two emotions for everything she does because there's what you felt and there's what you have to look back and
Re-examine every decision that her character makes,
Yeah.
knowing that information.
It's
And-
not
and
just paranoia.
you view the
that
decision
freaks her
differently.
out. It's not just a childhood fear.
She knows
what's
that
going
Adelaide
on.
is down there and probably wants to come and get her.
Yeah. So that's what starts to happen. She gets really freaked out at night before they're supposed to go to bed. The kids are hard to get in bed. Her husband's being all, are we gonna? And then she's like, no, I want to leave now. To the point where she's like yelling at him. So he's like, all right.
But it was, I mean, like, I thought that was a little bit extreme, but it didn't break my suspension of disbelief, I was like, okay, sure. Like, she was traumatized here as a child, and like say no more. Like I don't have
Yeah.
to understand it. Say no more. Like
Yeah.
she needs to leave, so we're gonna
so
leave.
you have to leave.
Like that's. I mean, like it's totally believable, even in the context of believing that she is her real self. Mm-hmm. But knowing that she was Red all along, just that changes her motives for everything.
Yeah. Fucking it changes like Red's whole thing.
You wonder, like yeah, you should be sympathizing with her.
Yeah, but you can't sympathize with like someone who organizes like a whole fraction of people to like murder other people.
Well, but her whole thing, and she was straightforward about it, is she said, "You could have taken me along. You didn't have to leave me behind." She says that at the end. And that's the main point, is she didn't have to be left behind and just try to play her part. That's what led the real Adelaide to make that decision. That, you know, like you just abandoned me and you had the opportunity to like
I was
you know,
your
save her.
patsy. Like she chains her up
Yeah,
at the end, leaves her. It was just
Exactly.
the old switcheroo.
literally chained her to one of those beds.
Yeah.
one of those government
That's why
beds.
she brings chains.
So I think
that's why she brings these handcuffs that look ridiculous with these long chains for Red. It would be easier for me if I referenced Adelaide as first Lupita and Red as the girl in the jumpsuit. Would that work with everyone?
But we're
trying not to get
but we
everyone
have
confused.
to explain, because we didn't explain exactly
Okay.
what happened in the House of Mirrors. We haven't actually explained that.
Well,
Oh, okay.
it cuts. The first shot cuts whenever she discovers the
That
doppelganger,
She has a doppelganger.
and like she
In
walks
shock.
up on her and she's looking the other way, and before she turns around, it cuts to the credits.
Yes.
That's all that we see at the beginning.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is the girl that turns around looks exactly like her. And what we find out much later is that her doppelganger choked.
Because well, we spend the whole movie just like wondering, like, well, what happened, man? What happened?
Yeah.
Like we see those shots of her, like the parents talking to the child psychologist, like wondering why won't she talk? Why won't she talk? And just we're wondering, like, what the hell happened, man? What happened to her?
Yeah.
And then you find out,
And
that
they even say, "I want my
that is
daughter
what
back.
happened.
I want my daughter back."
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And that was such
Gotta
an
see this again.
that was such an
Yeah.
obvious telegraph for me. Like I was like, "Oh yeah, okay. Well, it's not actually her. It's the doppelganger." I figured that out right away. But like, it was still good to watch it happen in real time, because it's a good fucking movie. I mean,
it's very well put together.
so like, even though I knew the twist was gonna happen, like it still was nice to watch happening.
Yeah, because it drops little clues along the way.
Yeah. And you see her, she acts out in ways that are kind of more animalistic
Well, I
later
remember-
in the movie.
And I remember watching like that first sequence when they're driving up, and she's trying to get Jason to clap along to "Got 5" on it.
Yeah.
And she's clapping on the offbeat, and I was like, "Oh, she's clapping on she's snapping on the offbeat."
Oh.
That's an interesting decision, because normally it's more intuitive to snap on the onbeat.
I noticed she didn't eat meat.
That's a
when
big deal. She doesn't eat meat.
She
She only drinks water.
She only drinks water, and she didn't eat meat. And the whole thing was that they were eating those rabbits raw or whatever.
And she's not good with talking.
She doesn't talk a
Yeah,
lot for the
she
first part of the
doesn't-
movie. She
No, she
mostly
says
talks
that to Elizabeth.
I'm just not
Moss.
good with talking.
I'm not
Yeah.
good with talking.
Oh no,
Dude,
I get
you're
that.
right.
I
Yeah.
get that. Yeah, of course. I
Yeah,
get
There
that.
were all sorts of telegraphing. So basically, she is one of the.
I want Will Ferrell to run up to Elizabeth Moss, like, "Put the mimosas down, bitch."
So she is one of the doppelgangers, and she takes over her doppelganger's life and leaves the real one behind. The real one is the one that ends up leading the rest of them to do an uprising, which that is essentially the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's done.
It's the first
done in
night
a
of this
horror
uprising.
story manner where it starts out small scale,
Yeah.
and it escalates, which is again
Shocked me, dude.
Credit to Jordan Peele.
should have seen that coming. I saw
Because the
nothing
trailers
coming.
don't give it away at all.
No.
And then credit to Jordan Peele, like whenever you can escalate the stakes as well as the violence, like
And it
that
happens
is
so
great.
and it happens so gradually.
Which again reminds me of They Live, where it starts out small scale and it escalates to like global scale.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's
like,
just a
yeah.
dude trying to get by, and at the end of it, he foibles the whole alien conspiracy.
He exposes the entire thing.
Spoilers for They Live. We haven't heard that.
You guys need to. It was
We
out in the 80s.
did a thing
We did
on
a
it.
thing
Go
on
back
it.
and listen to it.
And
That
if
was
you
the-
haven't
that was
if you
number
haven't
2?
seen They Live, then that's your fault. So
Yeah, it's I don't respect you as much. The movie's too good. Just like this movie. So this is the first night of the uprising, but they don't know it's an uprising. They're just like,
Well,
there's people in the
just,
driveway.
they just, they set up themselves at the house. They went out to the beach and hung out with Josh and Kitty.
Just awful.
Just
Awful.
awful.
Awful
And
people.
Tim Heidecker.
while they're there, because a fun little fact, as they were driving up to the beach, they see this like homeless guy with a sign, and we see him in one of the flashbacks, like the young version of him, like holding the sign, the same sign. I believe it was, what was it, Joshua?
Jeremiah
11:11, which I have heard that Bible verse is important. I would have to look it up. I'm not.
That's gonna take.
Give me
But-
a minute.
Give it.
All right, well, Chad's on it.
Do we want the
Chad-
New King
Chad-
James, the
Chad's
American
going Chad.
Standard?
Just go.
Do you prefer Old English?
Yes, Old English.
11:11,
And-
King James version. Ooh, King James version. This one's always fun.
And as they're coming up on the beach, it's the old version of him that is being carted off, dead, in an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just, they kind of look at him as they go by, but it's like, like a
Oh,
like
it's
a,
that thing of like she turns around and tells her kids not to look.
yeah, like it's a dead homeless man. Like,
Don't look.
But she,
what-
but
what-
she,
yeah.
Which makes the kids look.
like
she
what are you gonna
recogn-
do? It's a thing.
but she recognizes him from her childhood.
Sure, she probably remembers him from
He was there at the pier.
yes,
that night.
yes, and she probably remembers him from that,
Yeah.
presumably, but we see him being carted away, and it's just treated
What's
like
the? All right, I want to know the verse. So
Yeah, I have the NIV, the New International Version.
that's fair. That's good enough.
So if you're Methodist, you're just gonna have to get over it.
just read it.
Therefore, this is what the Lord says: I will bring on them a disaster they cannot escape. Although they cry out to me, I will not listen to them.
Oh, that's
That's
cold as
haunting.
ice.
Thanks for that, Jeremiah. Appreciate
Just
that
filled,
one.
filled with hope. So
And
they're-
thank God a homeless hippie's been holding up a sign for 30 years.
So they drive past that and they go onto the beach and they have that just awful time with that awful family.
Just awful
Just
family.
awful.
No, it looks like Gabe and Josh are having a good time.
Yeah, they're
looks like
buddies.
they're just old buds.
Yeah.
Even though they have like a
They
one-upsmanship
tote with
kind
their
of a
cars and their
relationship.
houses and just typical suburban one-upsmanship.
Yeah,
with
just
people.
just suburban dads one-upping each other.
Working for the weekend.
Adelaide's obviously
for the
not,
weekend.
not enjoying her conversation.
Working overtime workout.
And the daughter is not enjoying her situation with the twins. And they're just like talking shit about her brother, who is just off in his own world.
He's
And,
just a,
and
he's
then
just a
and he
crazy
wanders
kid.
off. And
He's
he
just
wanders
crazy.
off.
Because he has to go to the bathroom.
And he ends up passing by the same shaman stand. It's been like it's been changed to something else. It's not
Merlin's rainforest.
something like
Yeah.
that.
It went from
It's
shaman to
something
Merlin.
like that.
It's just just rebranded, but the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Meet the new boss.
And he doesn't go inside, but he notices that it looks like it's the guy from earlier, the homeless guy. But he's just kind of like standing, like
With his arms stretched out.
like crucifix pose or whatever.
And his hands are dripping with blood.
And there's a little bit of blood dripping off of his hand.
That's weird.
So
I didn't
Adelaide
recognize it was him
realizes
right away.
that
That he's missing, and she freaks out, and
runs and gets him, and
She
he's, and
really
he's
freaks
fine.
out.
he's fine.
He just went to the bathroom.
But she already had the freak out earlier,
Yeah.
and now she didn't know where Jason was, so she's freaking out about that. Like,
Now
you're
she's
totally on
gonna
the
have-
side of the mom.
Yeah.
Like, of course, mom's, of course.
Mom feelings are kicking
Mom
in.
worried about her child. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Got
Yeah.
it.
And that's when they decided to leave, right?
Yeah, they decided to go just back to the house, and
But little did they know,
and then she
leaving's not so easy. Santa Cruz.
she tells her husband about the situation when she was a kid and what happened to her in the Hall of Mirrors and everything.
This is the
That
only
was
thing I
that
don't
was
buy.
weird to me. Like,
I don't buy that they never talked about it.
Except
Oh, now that I think about it,
except that makes sense.
She's tethered.
Because I thought the same thing, but no, like I could see her not wanting to talk about that because.
He took it well. I would have been like,
But
how
at
did
this
you not
point,
tell me
she's
that?
probably been around people long enough that she's like, all right, well, I figured out how to be a person. This is the kind of thing that a person would say. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's at least that's the impression that I would have to get from it.
I honestly don't think she realized what really happened until the end. I honestly believe that she actually had repressed it so hard that she doesn't know what actually happened until the audience is shown that. Because
I don't know.
I need more evidence to support that.
I think that she knew that the now red real Adelaide would possibly be coming back to get her.
I think she
she
understood
knew.
it in an intuitive level, but she had forgotten it in a conscious level. I mean, I'm not 100% on that.
Maybe like that is the thing that
But
happens.
that look at her face at the end when she finally looks at her son, like that kind of gave me the impression that she had just then figured it out, like herself. That it had been
What, like
pushed
at the very end?
Yes.
Oh no,
That it had been pushed down so far.
I disagree with you entirely, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll find that out.
But we will get there. We will not find out. Jordan Peele is not one to tell you what his movies are about. He wants you to figure it out and think about it for yourself.
We know.
So we will probably never find out, but we will talk about it later.
So their lights are cut off in the middle of the night, and there is a family outside of the house.
It's like, man, this is why Josh has a backup generator. I told you we should have gotten a backup generator. Just like family squabble stuff.
Didn't really help Josh, but doesn't matter. But
He was not saved by his technology. It's true.
No.
Theme of the movie.
Yeah, no, that definitely do push that one in there somewhere. But so then the family's
There's
waiting
not a
outside.
family in our driveway. There's a family in our driveway. Boom.
Wait, was that the Seinfeld theme or was that the McDonald's I'm Loving It theme? Which one was that?
I was going for the Seinfeld theme.
Okay.
Ba-da-da-da.
Oh. That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they're there, and then there's just the guy goes out there and says, you need to leave, and then he goes back inside because they don't leave.
Can
And
I
then
help you?
He goes out there a second time
with a bat.
and then the bass drops in his
if you
voice,
want
and he's
things
trying
to
to
get
like
crazy, it's that shot from
like-
the trailer. Things can get crazy.
Oh, yeah.
and no, totally unbelievable.
And then, he does not. The guy who played
He's
the
not
villain in
selling it.
Black Panther does not sound intimidating at all.
No,
Not selling.
good
it.
actor. I'll tell you that much.
He was not the villain, but he was one of the.
He's
He was a partial antagonist for the first act.
partial antagonist. Yeah, yeah.
Moving on from that poorly made point that I made a second ago, the family splits up and they storm the house.
Oh yeah, it's just the one flanks and the other one zigs and the rest zag. I don't know what's going on. It's definitely coordinated.
And he can't
'cause she
close
claps.
the door in time.
And then the Gabe clone, who we later find out to be Abraham's, just like starts walking straight towards the front door,
It's so dark.
Gabe is just like, oh, I'm getting inside.
It's so dark, and it's not like a big like da-na-na that it's like, oh, it's the same dude.
No, it's just like seriously
eventually you
threatening. It's
start
just
to
like
it is threatening, but eventually you start to figure out
Like,
that's the
what?
same person. These are all the same people.
Well, I mean, like if you've seen the trailers, you kind of already know that.
Yeah. But like in the movie, a lot of times in movies, it's like a reveal, like they turn a corner.
I get it.
And Peele
Like-
doesn't do that here. Eventually, you just start to figure out that Gabe and Abraham are the same person, and the kids are the same kids, and it's just.
I feel like he doesn't waste a whole lot of time to make that reveal, which
Yeah.
is smart. There's no need to because we know from the trailers.
But the why is kept till much later. And
Oh,
even,
yeah.
And
They
even
kept
then, the
going,
why?
why? What is this?
Super loose.
I was like, are
Yeah.
these
They play
aliens?
super loose with the why.
Are
They
these
do.
are
They
these
play-
like
they do.
Is this a multiverse
No,
thing? I could
no.
not figure out
What?
like why there's doppelgangers.
They
that was
get
my
explain
thing.
it outright.
we'll get there.
At some point the
For the-
second
the-
they show up for another hour,
Yeah.
they don't explain it.
The
And that's
same
all I'm thinking
reason.
about.
It's the same
Yeah.
reason that the Vault Tech is a thing in the Fallout universe. It's
Asher's
just
not here, Sam.
It's just
Like, he
people
doesn't
to.
back
It's
you up
just
on this.
people to fuck with people. Like if just for science reasons.
So
Science.
So
Just evil science at its best. That's just for the sake of evil science. That's all that it is.
they basically bust their way in one way or the other. The husband gets smashed on the knee with a metal baseball bat.
Yeah, the guy steals the clone steals.
Oh yeah, he straight up just like snatches it from him. It's just like, oh, that's no good. That is no good. He's got the bat now.
So he's disabled, and they're kind of forced into the living room.
Smashes the hell out of his knee.
And then the doppelganger of, well, the quote-unquote doppelganger of the mom, Adelaide's doppelganger, who is red, or, I mean, it's very confusing at this point.
Okay, like...
She tells her a story.
Just call her Red, and Adelaide is Adelaide. And
We'll just work with it there until, we get to the point. But so she tells her, like, this is a story about a woman who had a shadow, and her shadow basically they were linked, they were tethered together. They use that word a lot.
And that voice.
Oh, she's like she can barely speak.
Well, she probably hasn't been speaking for a very long time.
Well,
yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, that's what it is, and then when I see the end,
Also crushed windpipes.
Well, plus
yeah, exactly. Totally. That's what I think it was. She can't speak because she got choked the fuck out when she was 7.
That makes sense.
And so now she struggles to speak. That's why everything with the family is hand signals and like whistles and stuff. It just
and none of the rest of them can speak either.
Yeah, they
Like,
don't
none
actually
of the
like
They're all like,
speak.
yeah, they're screaming and gawking and
Well, they're not
Kinda
like they don't need to
barking and
like I don't know what happened down there with the tethered people, the shadow people, the clones, whatever you want to call them. And it's weird because there's like long hallways and some rooms, and there are like classrooms with desks and boards, but it's also fairly clear that they just left them alone and no one's educated. That's why no one speaks and nothing happens.
Well, maybe the plan was originally to educate them, but they just abandoned it like after they made a whole bunch of clones and put them down there with a bunch of rabbits and didn't really think it through.
Usually clones and rabbits work out well. It's weird. It's weird
The
like
suggestion
It's the clones and rabbits show.
The suggestion in the movie is that they were clones created because their souls would be tethered to the living people so they could control everybody above ground using the clones.
Because they could clone the body, but they couldn't clone the soul.
But they could control the souls through the cloned bodies was the basic hypothesis.
What is the science behind that?
Look, man. This
Like,
was some weird fucking shit going on.
It was.
Like, I liked it too. I
liked
loved
it,
it, but it's some fucking
Yeah.
weird
I
stuff.
like how weird stuff is weird.
Like, I need to go and see it again, like after having seen it the first time and knowing the twist.
That's the crazy thing. That was only the hypothesis of that one girl to like figure out why this would happen to begin with. Because clearly it happened. Clearly, at one point in this universe, the government cloned everybody somewhere in the 80s.
Like they have children. They can't have the tethered can't have kids exactly turn out and be replicas of the other kids. That's not how DNA works. You can't just you can't just like multiplicity. You can't just do that.
But it was almost like they were
cloned the children.
But it was almost like they were linked in some way. No, I think they were linked in some way that their destinies were linked.
And Red mentions going through the breath-giving process for
the C-section
for Pluto and
does she? Oh, okay.
Pluto and Umbre.
Delilah.
I'll suspend my
Dahlia.
on that one.
Dahlia, or so.
Dahlia is that's Kitty.
Elisabeth Monster's tethered person.
Umbre is what I got here.
Yeah, so
if I'm saying that right.
So things just kind of get weird at one point, but we're not even like close to that.
Lightly.
Basically everyone is sent on a mission to kill their own.
And they get cornered in the living room pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because they suck at it. They're not good at stuff. These people are ready.
That's whenever Red goes through her speech, which we were just talking about. And like just the whole time we're sitting here, just like what do these people want? Like,
what's this movie doing?
Where did you come from?
What's happening?
What are you trying to do?
I still was like, what is this movie doing? Like, what does this mean?
Like, I'm still grounded in the real world right now.
Yeah.
So, like, are you trying to kill these people so you can take their place in the world?
Yeah. Is this real at all, or
like,
is this like a spiritual thing?
Because,
Are
like,
they
you know
experiencing this?
that the world is going to notice that you aren't actually them, right?
Yeah. Oh, I kept
But
getting
that
worried.
wasn't the plan.
Yeah. Well, I
That ends up not being the plan.
but we don't
even
know that.
kind
You
of.
don't know the plan
we
till
don't,
like
we
the
don't know
very end.
that.
Like I kept getting worried. I'm like, oh shit. So like when the daughter takes off running, and the tethered daughter gives her like a beat before chasing after her because she's so fast.
Yeah, because we get a really cool sequence right here.
Yeah,
like,
with the cars.
like
yeah.
well, because we get a solo of each character with their doppelganger.
They all go off on their own mini adventure.
Yeah, and I think that's the first one that we get is with the daughter.
The daughter, she chases after her. She stops by a car, starts fucking with her, jumping on top of the car, jumping below the car, hiding out. Really well shot, of just paranoia of like what's going on.
Yeah, that was
and then
really
some
well shot.
dude comes out and says, "The fuck you doing on my car?" And this is the point I was getting back earlier. I didn't know what was going on, so when tethered daughter goes up and stabs that guy, first death in the movie,
First
Just
death in the
rips
movie.
rips him apart.
Guts.
With the
Guts
golden
him.
scissors, which is a whole like we could have an
know
hour
what
long
that means.
conversation on just the golden
I don't even know
scissors.
what that means.
It represents the two sides. It's
Okay.
there are two identical
yeah.
sides that make one complete
but-
thing.
It
Yeah, it-
represents the cutting of the two sides.
Well,
the
like
untethering.
it's a literal and metaphorical symbol
Yeah.
of like of the
it's a
the cutting of the
multi-layered.
tethers.
It's a
But
multi-layered.
I was
thing.
so like unsure of what was going on that I was concerned that was going to be a plot point later. Is the real Dar's going to get blamed for that guy's murder, which is kind of like a theme of his previous.
Get out of the
movie.
real world.
It's ridiculous.
We're
what am I
we're stuck in the
thinking?
real world at this point.
Absurd
That's
thought,
why.
right?
Yeah,
I know.
we're stuck in the real world still. So after that, then I think we get the sequence with Abraham trying to. No, well, Abraham's doppelganger with Gabe trying to get away from Abraham.
On the boat, crawdaddy.
No. First Abraham like just lays Gabe out and breaks down like a glass door and just drags him out with him.
Just really,
it's pretty.
handles him.
Yeah, it's like that kind of like subtle brutal.
Well, he's not like yelling a bunch, and well, he is yelling, but he's not
And
like beating the hell out. It's
we're
just
not
taking his
seeing a
time.
lot of extreme graphic violence. It's just like, oh yeah, I can tell that dude's getting his ass kicked
It's
right now.
menacing though. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not graphic,
Yeah,
and he just does that.
it's well done. It's effective.
And then they get on the boat, right? Like he messes with him a bit in the
Well,
yard.
he knocks him out, takes him out on the boat,
Wraps him
and
up
then
in a
he's-
garbage
he's in
bag.
a garbage
he's in a
bag.
bag, and he's
Yeah.
gonna like dump him, obviously. But right before he can, he manages to rip himself out of the bag.
And he grabs the bat.
Yeah,
So he is good for something. He can get himself out of a plastic bag.
Oh yeah, they have a nice little tussle on the boat.
And this is where the shittiness of the boat come into play because he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
waiting for it to break
that
down.
becomes
and
a serious factor in the
Abraham has to
conflict.
go like work on it, and he's waiting for him to move. So he sneaks up and grabs the bat, knocks the shit out of him. Later, when he comes back, he Fonzie's it to
'Cause-
cut the dude in half.
Oh yeah, he's trying to
Like-
get the boat working, and Abraham comes up behind, and he's like gonna. He's trying. He's about to stab
he
him.
ends up knocking Abraham off the boat, but like his foot's tied to the lifesaver.
rope, yeah.
So whenever the motor breaks down, he just like
Yeah.
swims back over to the boat and climbs back on, and you're just
Yeah.
like, "Are you fucking serious, movie?
Oh, I know.
Are you serious right now?"
That scene really
Yeah.
really dragged out the fun of that was very well
I
done.
loved it. I was just like, "Holy shit! Are you serious? The threat's not over yet? God damn it!"
It was a perfect example of a horror movie using cause and consequence.
Right.
And I really like that. But then he's like, yeah, he's about to stab him, and you're like,
And
how's he going to get out of this?
He uses the motor
He
to.
smashes the motor, and it starts the motor up, and it just rips the guy apart. And that was just like one of the first brutal scenes in the movie. And it's like, well, that was wonderful. That was so fun to watch.
It feels like it happens like dead center in the movie.
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
it's about
but
the halfway
it feels
point.
about that way.
Somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
that's dead centers I think about when the other family gets
And
massacred.
then we see Jason running off to play with Pluto. I'm using the quotation bunnies.
yeah.
Go play.
Yeah.
And they end up because we saw him like crawling into the little like game pantry, which I guess it's just like locks it from the inside
It's
whenever it
just like
closes.
a closet or something, some old closet. Or
Like you
whatever.
can open it from the outside, but you can't open it from the inside. Like that's what we saw earlier in the movie. So like that, like we saw a thing earlier. He placed a little toy truck to stop the door.
It was an ambulance,
and the mom,
just like the ambulance at the end.
just like the ambulance
Foreshadowing.
that took away the homeless man and the beach scene.
Yep, same ambulance.
Oh gosh.
Imagery in this movie, man.
Yep, smart.
Well done.
Very well done.
Very well done.
Damn.
And then they fuck around, and you find out that the Pluto is that's the
And
kid,
he's been playing. Jason's been playing with this magic trick toy.
It's supposed. I think it's one of those like Joe Bluth spark in hand things.
Right.
It's what it looks like, but you just hear like a lighter going off, and it never works.
But then where did the spark come from?
Yeah, but his tethered side, Pluto, is a straight up pyromaniac. Like he has matches and he fucks with them.
Well, their personalities are linked.
Yeah, and he
So-
has burns, and which makes me think, well, every time that kid played with that, then from the previous summer, that's how the fuck the other kid got burned.
You see that
It's
people.
his fault.
You see people on the internet talking about the theory that Jason pulled like the same trick that Red pulled.
They look at each other in the end like he's in on it.
Like that,
What do you mean?
that Jason is one of the tethered who found his way up to the surface and swapped with his doppelganger, and Pluto is the real kid.
That's what I thought.
That's what you thought?
That is exactly
I
what I thought.
gotta see more evidence to make me think.
I know,
that.
man. I got to see it again,
Yeah, I
dude.
gotta see that again.
And
like,
the
seriously.
I don't know.
exchange with each other
Pool
at
switch-
the end.
I did get that
The
feeling
double
at the
switcheroo,
end that
like, come on,
he
two
knew,
switcheroos?
like he knew.
Well, he knows, but I feel like he's just like, well, he's got that freaking like when the switch happened before the movie?
It would have had to be
Okay.
because he had all those that
And
scar.
and whenever he's playing with that when he's playing with that magic trick the first time, they say that like it's like they say it's like what is that? It's like it's that magic trick that I had last year, something like that, right?
Doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And the girls at the beach actually ask his sister what's wrong with him
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he doesn't say much.
Yeah. Sequel.
You sneaky fuckers! I didn't even
Sneaky.
notice that.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to do a sequel, but if he did, that would be.
Oh man, he doesn't seem like the sequel.
I
type.
don't think
Not
a
really.
sequel
If
would
it was,
work.
I think
that
he'd
would be it.
rather just make another original movie.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
like
fine
a,
with that.
a sequel would just ruin it. But
Yeah, let it be what it is.
Anyway, well, that's something else. So the other kid, he's got like burns on his face. Pluto, he's got burns like all over his, chin and underneath his nose
Yeah, the whole bottom half of his face.
because he was a pyromaniac, I guess. And so he tricks him to get him locked into that room so he can get away. And then oh my gosh, what happens after that? Because things just escalate really fast. It's like
They really get out of hand.
well, because they split it up into
the whole movie just goes off the rails.
Off
they
the rails.
they split it up into 4 different stories at that point.
killed
so
a guy.
like you
Well, Gabe killed his doppelganger.
yes,
We saw we see Jason playing with his doppelganger.
gets
and
him
that's-
locked in the room.
We see the burns, and that's a whole thing.
And then Red then goes to
and we
fix
see-
that situation. So
And we
Adelaide
see
is left behind to break out.
but we also see Zora is on the run.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
scene with the guy in the car earlier. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, we
she-
already
she-
talked about that.
yeah. So basically, it comes down to Adelaide breaking out.
Nothing but the best from movie night Autopsy.
Adelaide breaking
Let's
out.
check the records. We don't have
Adelaide
any
breaking
records?
out
Okay.
from the handcuff situation, and then she goes and gets her kids, and they escape, and then they all escape on the boat. And it's just
Credits
one of the
roll. Movie is over. Everyone's safe.
well,
Nothing bad
the
happened.
movie
I got
finally
5 on it.
the movie finally takes a breath, and then it goes to
Well, yeah, they're
Tim Heidecker and his family.
yeah they're
Just
they're trying to get to Josh and Kitty's house
Yeah.
Via boat.
to try to see if they can get some help.
Which
Get,
is
get the
fun.
fuck out of there and all that.
Yeah.
Because like that's what you do when you're in a horror movie.
But the power
Mode is
goes.
just like let's just get as far away from this location as possible.
Yeah.
But the power goes out,
And the
but
movie
it comes
tricks you
it
and
comes
thinks that's
back up
fine.
because he's got a backup generator.
Well, because we see a look inside the home of Josh and Kitty Tyler, in the Tyler family saga before they arrive at the home.
Oh, that's just lovely.
Tyler family sucks. More like it. Am I right, guys?
Tyler
All right.
family sucks, sir.
Yeah,
So
that's a good one.
he's just sitting there
Sucks a
drinking
bag of dicks.
whiskey out of a tumbler, sitting in a chair.
He looks like he's just had a day. I'm like, what, dude? You're tired from you doing nothing all day? Like,
And
obviously,
then-
you went to the beach and that was it.
Yeah,
so
drinking
she's-
at the beach must have really wore you out, bruh.
Oh, Paul, the hard work you put in drinking at the beach.
Washing
so
off
she's-
all that SPF 90.
Poor
She's
you.
like, I think I heard somebody, and he's like, oh, it's
No, you
just a
didn't.
squirrel. You didn't hear anything.
Whatever.
Oh yeah, man, he is so quick to dismiss that and not want to go and check out the potential danger.
He's like, I'm busy, and you were clearly not.
In a
you're just-
kimono.
the-
No
I
one
got a
could be
thing
the
going on
least
here,
busy.
man. I'm sitting down. I'm drinking some brown liquor.
No-
like, come on.
No one who wears a kimono is busy.
I clearly have a look
impossible.
going on right now. You're asking me to compromise my look.
Oh, you gotta get up. And
So
she
what
just
would
makes him
Matthew
do it.
McConaughey say right now? He'd probably be like, "Hey, listen, man, I'm not gonna
Are
go,
you trying to
go
start
over
a new
there.
thing? Are you trying to start a new thing
Not
that we
gonna
always
go
do?
over there and check out this
You're
sound
starting a new
that
thing, aren't you?
want me to go and check out.
You want me to be a part of this thing, and I'm not gonna. It's a new thing.
Because man, I'm just like,
Oh wow, he's still going. There he goes.
So he goes and looks out the window, and
Oh god, this is great. I love
he's
this
a
part.
big
Well,
asshole
all right, now,
about
I
it.
tell you, I go look out the window, man, but
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay,
So
let him finish.
he's a big asshole about it, and
She looks at the window. He's like, "Oh my god, right by the car. I can't believe it."
It's OJ.
It's OJ, and you're like, "Fuck you, movie."
and then
Yeah.
it kind of pulls out, and suddenly
the theater was not packed. We saw it on a Monday afternoon, but
that was
it
hilarious.
It worked.
it definitely
It
got
totally
a laugh.
worked.
Everybody laughed at
You
that
gotta
line.
laugh.
That was great. So then it pulls out, and then you see the entire family very rapidly murdered with scissors.
Yeah, they're just like, "What's going on?" There's like, "Nothing. Go back to bed." Oh, you can't get back because
Yeah,
you're getting stabbed in the
it's-
neck, and so am I now. I'm dead.
This family is very efficient.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's the opposite.
They were.
Yeah.
They're murderers, but boy, do they get stuff done.
They get it done.
I think they were feeling what the audience was feeling is
Dear
that
God,
we want to
kill
see
them
these
now.
people fucking die right now,
It's
and
this
that's
crazy
exactly
thing
what happened.
Where like he's to calm her down, he tells not Alexa, Ophelia, which is the AI.
Yeah, that's
speaker
their
thing
that's
in the
their clear Amazon
thing.
Yeah,
to
clearly.
play Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, and
Well, he just says play Beach Boys.
play
and
Beach
that's what
Boys.
it plays.
Yeah, Good Vibrations starts, and so
Probably have a
everyone
good chance of that happening in real life.
everyone gets murdered to that.
to Good Vibrations.
And this, yeah.
And then the wife, who's not dead, Elizabeth
Slowly
Moss,
She's
starts crawling
slightly
towards
not
the
dead.
body.
and rather than like calling out for anything else, she calls out for Ophelia. Call the police.
Which those things they can call. They can make phone
Playing
calls.
"Fuck the Police" by NWA. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. And that's all I can do of the song.
That's
So
a good
then
place
we
to stop.
proceed to listen to the "Fuck the Police"
with
for the rest of the scene.
the family show. The first family. What's their last name? Do we know?
Wilson.
The Wilson family.
The Wilson family.
Wilson family shows up.
So they show up and they proceed to take down the doppelgangers. The daughter does so with
The golf club.
golf club, and she's very good at it.
And then the kid has like he's got like this like
Takes out one of the sisters.
yeah.
It was like
but
a
what-
quartz crystal on a like a
Yeah, like
statue.
one of those
It's like a-
geode statue things.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you found this in a
You
cave
know.
or something.
You know.
a
yeah.
geode statue on
Speaking
like a
of you know,
on,
the
on
husband
It's
like
was
a,
wearing
something
a
that
Howard
my mom would go
sweater
oh, look
for
at
most
that.
of this.
yeah. But then
I did like that inclusion that the husband was wearing a Howard sweater for a lot of it.
the-
You know.
but
I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. If I'm not allowed to do that, I'm sorry.
But Gene lures
It's a Howard
lures the Jim Heidecker
Well, it's like a fraternity thing.
dude to
I
the
don't get
to the boat. And there was a joke that came up earlier. He's like, "Oh, I bet you forgot the flare gun." He didn't forget the flare gun. He had the flare gun,
No,
and he
no, no,
lured
well-
him into a spot where he was going to shoot him with the flare gun.
He did forget the flare gun.
Crawdaddy did not have a flare
guess
gun.
what? Josh Tyler, as terrible of a human being as he is, he remembered the flare gun.
He remembers the one gun in this movie.
Biatchin.
Biatch has a flare gun.
Biatch.
Can we break this down? This flare gun scene, because I
Oh, God.
fell for it.
Yeah,
I fell
love
for it
this.
hard.
I definitely thought
knew
one
it
thing was
was
going to
coming.
happen.
You
and then
knew
that's
it
not what
was
so
happened.
it's just like evil Tim, whatever the guy's name is just he's hamming it up hard. He is having fun being a murderous person.
Coming at him with some scissors.
And he's doing a
Gabe with-
pterodactyl impression.
pretty much like putting his arms out. He's got his scissors. Like Abe is in the back of the boat and he's like armed and ready with the flare gun, and it's just shot so well. And does he have a one-liner
But
here?
of course, he's luring him in.
Yeah. He's bringing him in for the shot, dude. And he's seen movies. He knows what's up. Is there a one-liner here? Is there like
I don't
I'll
remember.
have what she's having, or it's just been revoked? Is there like one of those right here?
No, he
It's
just straight up shot.
Authorized.
Yeah.
He just straight up
Engage.
shot, I think.
And he shoots it, and it falls in front of him.
And it totally just like hits the door right next to him.
It kind of peters out, which gives it this awesome red lighting of just menace and Gabe says,
Smoke.
and smoke, and Gabe says, "Fuck
Smoke.
it," and just charges at him. I don't know if you saw this.
Well, dude lunges at him, so it's like, all right, I gotta fucking,
I gotta lunge more
gotta do this.
to beat him at the lunge.
Gotta do this. I have a crazy fucking doppelganger person coming at me, so I gotta
the
deal
camera
with that.
pans out, you just see the boat shake around. You don't see who wins, but like, okay,
Well,
I
if
don't.
that boat's rocking, there's probably someone in there fighting for their life.
Oh, a lot of murder on the high seas. That's where pirates come from.
Because of the implication.
But I don't know if you saw this. I was sitting right next to you during the scene when he raises the flare gun. I got my fist in position to do a fist pump, like really excited.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and then when that happens, I was like, slowly put it back down, because I was like, yeah, oh man. Which I'm like, kudos to Peele for subverting expectations.
Nice, see, but
I don't like it when I'm subverted.
But it worked
It
in
worked.
this movie. Like that kind of subversion worked in this movie. Like I was about to make a joke about the Meg with the helicopters, like a similar situation of like you're getting ready to fist bump the second that he eats a helicopter out of the sky.
They just never use a helicopter.
But then it doesn't happen, so you just put your fist back down.
Yeah, but the only difference is in this movie, something rad happens after that.
Yeah,
like
just-
he didn't eat an
and-
airplane afterwards.
And the
to make you feel better about that.
and the Meg, you're just very
You're
disappointed,
just really bummed and waiting for a helicopter to get eaten.
and it never comes.
Never comes. But it's just, and he fights on the boat.
Yeah, but so they're fighting on a boat. Everybody look at them because they're fighting on a boat.
And isn't that how the song goes?
They're on a boat and
Oh.
they're fighting.
Oh. It's been a while.
Yeah, that song is no longer relevant. It's true.
So the twin
like
girls are killed by the daughter
Oh, yeah.
with
One
a golf
shot,
club.
one shot Sally.
Zora.
She knocks the fuck out of him.
Yeah. Yeah,
she's
with a
pretty,
putter.
She's pretty good at it.
Like a decent putter. She
And
knocks,
then-
she knocks one. They go upstairs and she knocks one. And
She
then,
knocks one of the twins like
and she
off
goes
of this, off
flying
the,
off the balcony
Yeah.
into the living room and crashing up the coffee table.
And after they go through a bit more, because she works her way up through. She gets to the main bedroom, where the Elisabeth Moss twin is, Dahlia.
Well, she also like totally just obliterates the last twin. Like she gets vengeful.
She smashes.
Oh, yeah, in
she
the bathroom?
smashes her face. in.
and she gets so into
Like
it. And
seriously, John Travolta had it easy.
so like we're at this point, we're an hour in. We see people killing their doppelgangers. And you're still questioning why there's at the time you're watching.
Well-
You're still questioning why there's doppelgangers.
Well,
so I'm like, do they replace
killing
them?
and they're killing the other family's doppelgangers.
Yeah.
And based on their behavior, because they're like putting on the clothes and shit of the people
Yeah.
that they just killed, like their cloned selves or whatever. Like they're putting on their clothes
Elizabeth
and
Moss
all
is
that.
putting on her like the makeup of her doppelganger. And
Yeah,
everything.
like looking in the mirror and stuff, and
real
and
creepy.
just and you just and like we didn't know that there were other doppelgangers in just the one family.
We just
thought
found
it was
out. We
just
found
them.
out when the family got stabbed in the neck.
Yeah,
and died.
when they showed up.
You're like, oh, it's everybody.
after an OJ joke.
After an OJ joke.
That's when we found out.
Yeah, that was an
But
interesting.
it's still this thing of you don't know exactly what's happening.
Nope, we still don't know why any of this.
But I'm starting to form a theory that's wrong, obviously. But I'm starting to try and figure out like, okay, so I think the doppelgangers are trying to take over the people, and take over their lives. Maybe they spiritually embody them when that happens. Does the flip side of that work? Does the surface dwellers, when they kill their doppelgangers, do they become more murderous and just become sinister people as well? I don't know. Possibly, and you definitely. I think the reason I thought this was happening is because of what we find out later with Lupita's character.
I mean, I think this family for the most part is just fighting for survival.
Yeah, but there's always that moment where they pause and like, are they going to do something weird?
The
If they kill
argument
someone
could
and
be
do something
made.
weird.
The argument could be made that they're getting pushed by Adelaide, who is actually like the tethered version from yada yada yada. Like that argument could be made, I guess, but I would have to see the movie again.
Yep. Another watch.
We made the mistake of planning to do this and only giving ourselves time to see the movie once.
We did give ourselves some time. I'm glad we didn't like if we
do it right away.
Yeah, I couldn't have done that.
Sorry, Aaron.
Are you okay?
It's all good.
Yeah, because we were like,
Oh no, I'm fine with. I completely. I
Yeah.
feel like I completely understand this movie.
it took me about 2 or 3 hours. I had to go watch Jordan Peele interviews to kind of get some of it, and that helped out a lot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a little bit like going to the teacher for the answers, but I felt better knowing it now.
No, man, I feel you. There's nothing wrong with that.
But
So,
so they
gaining some
fight off all the
perspective on
they
what
fight
you
out
just
the
saw.
other tethered family.
So they basically they managed to kill off the other tethered family, and then they decide to watch TV or something, and they realize that like this is just happening everywhere. But not only is this happening, but they're starting to join hands.
Hands across America.
Basically, they're doing hands
Hey,
across
wait a
America.
minute. That was referenced earlier in the movie.
Yes, it was definitely.
Hey, wait a
it was
minute.
heavily referenced earlier in the movie.
It's the first shot.
So like they're doing hands across America. All of the doppelgangers, like after they kill their counterparts, they have started
The
joining
version of them
hands.
that gets to live in the light while they live in the darkness.
Yeah. And
Another cryptic shit.
so they're like, well, I guess we better fucking get out of here because we don't want to die. So they try to. They make an attempt and it fails miserably because their way is blocked by a burning car.
It's their car.
It's their car.
It's their car.
Because they were driving the other guy's car.
Yeah. And they're
it's-
just like, wait, that's our car. They've been waiting for us.
And
this
it's
whole time.
Pluto, the son's doppelganger, who's
The
like
arsonist.
standing in front of it, who's an arsonist,
Well,
you
you hear something in the car, and it's kind of revealed that he's actually just been underneath the car the whole time.
Oh wait, but that's
Yeah,
after. But that's
that was
after.
true. Oh,
Whenever
yeah, that did happen.
that's after. Wait, we totally skipped over the fucking
The daughter death.
like on the car.
Yeah.
Like with the scissors.
She's
just,
trying
like,
to stabbing
stabbing
yeah.
through glass.
Because the daughter of the surface
That was
family
badass.
is driving because Lupita. Oh, that's right.
she's wanted to
She's
drive
handcuffed the whole time. Adelaide is handcuffed for most of the movie.
Yes.
Because she
Literally
had to tether
handcuffed.
herself to the table.
Yeah.
We kind of glossed over that.
And Gabe has a fucked up leg, so he's using the baseball bat as a crutch. The kid's a kid, so she's like, "I'm gonna drive," and then her tethered
that was the whole thing.
self jumps on the car.
They tried to tell her just drive away, but she was like, "No, I'm gonna take this bitch
I'm
down."
gonna finish
And of
this.
course, she just
Doesn't
like
end
runs
well.
over the car, like what?
What? Yeah, everybody
Like a maniac.
went, huh? In the theater, we're all just like, "That's a thing you do." And then she's not trying just to get in. She's trying to specifically use her scissors to stab her tethered surface dweller part through the windshield.
That would be a change of pace for Jordan Peele if she was just trying to get in.
Son of a bitch. So
Let's give him a minute. I'll give him a minute on that one.
So she speeds up while she's at the front of the car and she stops real hard and she's thrown into the woods.
Oh wait, this is great. This is a little tidbit of how they get her to stop holding onto the car is they turn on the blinker, the windshield
Oh, yeah,
wipers.
that was cool.
And then she's like, "The fuck are these?" Like, she's like, "I don't know what this thing is."
That was hilarious.
I'm freaked out, and that's when they slam on the brakes and she goes flying.
Yeah.
It was great.
And it's like
She's-
impaled by a tree or something like that.
Yeah. She's
So,
like, her back's
Adelaide-
hanging upside down. And
Adelaide gets out of the car and runs into the woods, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she has already exhibited signs.
I have to see this human being that looks exactly like my daughter die.
She's already exhibited signs of being fucking psycho at this point.
And you forgive it because like it's just like
The conditions.
Maternal
And there's-
instincts,
and
like yeah,
maternal
you go with
instincts
it.
and the fact that like what freaked her out as a kid has come back to haunt her in adulthood, which
Yeah.
is a common theme in a lot of horror
Survival
movies.
instincts
Yeah.
kicking in and all
Yeah,
that shit.
it's
Like
just
yeah,
like-
like you go with it.
It's
So
like
she-
like the Scream movies are all about that. Like Nev
yeah.
Campbell's character is always dealing with some horrible thing that already happened, which makes the sequel so easy because it's actually referencing the second thing, not the first thing of her mom dying and all that stuff.
So she sees the doppelganger die like mangled in a tree, and then just goes back and nobody talks about it.
Yep, that was that scene.
Yeah, they just move on.
And then they're interrupted with the flaming car, and he was underneath their car, and you're not sure what's happening until she gets out of the car and approaches him, and then he holds out a match, and then you realize that like there's a line of gas running from under the car toward him.
All he's got to do is like flick it and go.
Flick the match, and then
But-
it's gonna kill everybody in there.
But what's the surface kid's name?
Jason.
Jason makes eye contact with them, and it's this weird bonding thing, not just the soul bonding they talk about. It's almost like an appreciative bonding thing. I don't know who's in charge of who. It gives the impression that Jason's in charge of Pluto. Is that what they say, Pluto?
Pluto,
Yes.
yeah.
Is that because he acts more like a pet,
Well, it like I don't know that.
you think?
I don't know if it's that or if it's just like a game that they're playing. You know?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what he does is he looks at him, makes eye contact, and like puts his arms out, and then the other kid.
Well, they were doing that in the
Yeah.
the game pantry earlier too.
Yeah.
Like he would put his hand out.
They're playing
Yeah,
a
it's like
mimic,
the Harpo
a
Marx
mimicking
thing.
game.
Right.
Yeah.
So he walks backwards. Jason does until Pluto walks backwards into the
Right
flaming
into the
car.
right into the fire.
And he just does it. He just
And
does it.
so-
and Lupita's like yelling, "Stop!
Yeah, she's
like-
obviously
like Adelaide is
unhappy
just
with the
like-
situation.
Stop it! Stop! No, it's not supposed to happen like this. Don't do that."
And that was a
Heavy.
super intense moment.
Heavy.
And then meanwhile, Red is like blending in with an SUV somehow.
I fucking don't.
I don't
get-
really.
That
see,
was a
here's the
very
deal.
strangely shot
It's
scene.
Yeah,
the
she just kind of pops up out of nowhere and grabs him.
yeah, like a freaking
Predator.
yeah, pretty much like so because the shot is it's like a side profile of Jason and he's in focus. And there's a red SUV behind him, and all of a sudden you just see someone's hands move or something, and Lupita's right there. I'm like, do they have magical powers? Will they blend in? I don't know. I still don't feel like I learned enough from this movie to know what's going on. I still don't feel comfortable saying, oh, I know what's going on. I still don't feel that way.
So she snatches.
Does she
up-
have magical powers? They share a soul. A soul is real. Like so,
Souls are
like,
apparently
are
a
like
thing?
magical powers a thing? What's the extent that we're talking about things we know are real that we can't see?
I think she just like stealth actioned her way into the
Probably.
situation.
It's just, I mean, it is really out of focus. It's hard to figure out. But it's
guys,
done that way on purpose.
guys,
Yes.
what are the rules?
Okay. Well, this
Any-
was a great podcast. I'll see you guys next week.
So Jason got snatched up by Red, and she takes him obviously to the Hall of Mirrors
So
because
Adelaide has to face her fear,
Yeah.
or we assume Adelaide is facing her fear for the first time since she was a child. That's
So-
what we think is happening.
yes,
That is how
she,
it is all portrayed.
She gets to the Hall of Mirrors, and she finally goes into the exit room, which is what she was looking for to begin with. And the exit room happens to lead
like a-
down
and she straight just
and
walks
down.
into another movie.
and down
No
into
guards or
like
nothing.
No,
darkness and creepiness, and it
I'm
just
surprised there weren't any horse people down there.
and yeah,
Yeah, there should have
yeah.
been horse people down there.
The movie just descends
checking
into
that box.
creepier and creepier environments
Well, she
until
goes from
there's
like a
a
horrible like boiler room to an escalator.
An
like a
escalator.
mall that only goes in one direction.
and
There's no up escalator,
there's no
Nope.
up escalator.
just one way down.
So she gets there,
I
and
guess that was enough.
then there's bunnies. There's just a whole lot of
Roaming
bunnies.
about. Oh, the
Whole
bunnies. Remember
lot
the
of
bunnies from the
bunnies.
beginning of the movie?
Yeah, here's the bunnies again.
All the bunnies.
By the way, surprise bunnies. There's a whole lot of bunnies.
So it makes you feel a little bit better to see some cute bunnies hopping
It is-
around.
I
I
kind of
do-
generally
I
did
do
feel a
love
little bit
seeing
better
the
at that
bunnies.
point. I kind of felt like I needed it.
Because
I'm
there
glad
were
there
so
bunnies.
many moments of this movie that had me like going like woo woo in the theater.
It kind of reminded. I felt like that was a slight homage to Night of the Lupus.
I was
And I
definitely
hope
the
it
guy
was.
going like, get in the car, dude, get in the car. God damn it, dude, get in the car, get in the
Why-
fucking car.
why you guys
Why aren't you
splitting
getting
up
in the
right
car?
now?
Get in the car right now. Like I
Why you
was
splitting up?
kind of that guy for a lot of the movie.
So we get to the place with lots of bunnies, and she's looking around, and she gets to a classroom where her doppelganger has drawn a line of
across America.
a line of people holding hands across the whole board, and she's like,
I feel like those people are gonna sue us.
she gives
If
her a
they're
whole
gonna give
rundown.
Jordan Peele a pass, then we're fine.
Oh yeah, no,
We're good.
What does that mean?
That means he did worse for them than we did.
that's absolutely sure.
I think in his own way, he was just trying to raise awareness of the homeless problem.
so.
That's one of the many, many, many things.
She
'Cause there's a lot.
explains that all of these people, all of these doppelgangers, are genetic clones that have been existing since at least the early 80s. And that they are.
So does that mean that like somewhere there's like a clone of John Lennon? Did he get shot too?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Oh,
So,
Yeah, it's above her.
but they're all kept
clone of
under.
Mark
They're
David
all
Chapman
kept
shot him.
underground in this massive network of tunnels. Apparently,
Remember the title card? It's important now.
so for some reason they've just stayed
and-
down there, and the government abandoned
well,
this
yeah,
plan.
we get a lot of exposition here.
The government like abandoned this plan.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh, the whole thing was they cloned them because their souls would be linked, tethered to the ones above
untethering.
ground.
The untethering. Oh, that voice, dude. That voice.
That voice.
That voice.
Fuck me in
That voice is
voice.
going to go down in history, man.
It's horrifying.
Like, people are going to be talking about that voice
Oh
for
man,
years.
it's messed up.
So the whole concept was they would be able to use the clone bodies to control the ones up above ground, but something went wrong,
Control
or just
them to do what? Buy a new Coke?
I don't fucking dude.
Buy a DeLorean. Vote Reagan. Vote Reagan.
Yeah, vote Reagan.
Vote Reagan. Yeah.
Vote Reagan.
I mean, it happened.
I mean, I guess they won then.
Reagan and Bush.
So, in any case, that was the plan, and I don't. It was apparently abandoned, so all of the clones were left downstairs.
Abandoned like the tunnels that they left the clones in.
But
why? Why didn't it work? Because it's a bad plan. I'm asking my own question. It's
I mean, but apparently it
Because
does.
it's dumb.
But no,
It's
but
dumb.
apparently
they
it
did a
does
dumb
work.
thing. It was a dumb thing that they did. They
It's
did a dumb
apparently
thing.
it does work because they could control Red with they could control Adelaide with Red was able to do her dance, and that created a dance that she did downstairs,
And that-
it
and
caught the attention of everybody.
so it's more
that's
like
what
the
was-
original controls the clone.
Holy shit!
It goes
you
the other way.
guys. Like,
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
pretty much it.
that, The dancing is Adelaide's undoing. Like, that's her. That is her. Like conduit to being able to learn how to communicate, right?
Yes.
To be able to express herself was
Yes.
dancing. Well, dancing is also what did that for her doppelganger in the shadows that she left down in the
to get
She
shadows.
becomes like this Messiah
Because
like
she
becomes a
also
Messiah figure
is
by
in a
stunt
situation
dance.
where she can't communicate with like the clones around her, the doppelgangers
Yeah, because
around
they
her.
can't talk.
So like learn like through the dancing that she's now mimicking, that was what she was able to do for her to figure out how to communicate with them.
Which was that the whole plan all the time?
Oh man,
Because she kind of smiles at the end.
just the layers of this movie. There's so many layers.
So the plot is explained thusly, and while they have a transposition of her and her doppelganger dancing, both her on stage and her doppelganger dancing
in the hallway.
in the hallway in front of the other doppelgangers, they're also fighting with scissors and a poker, fire poker.
Yeah, because that's a thing that we forgot to mention.
She's got a fire poker.
She's
like the
been
whole
carrying
fucking
That's her
around
melee
a
weapon in this.
fire poker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the
She,
fire.
she can do some good two-handed
the
damage
the
because
dancing-
her hands have been chained together for most of the movie.
She does. She does.
And they-
do
and
a
they
damn
still
good
are.
job.
Yep.
So the fire poker scissors fight is transposed with the dance that they were both doing separately, but also together because
They were tethered.
because all sorts of doppelganger stuff going on here. And
So that is pretty much how they explain it, like doppelganger stuff.
it looks like it's not going to end well, but she eventually stabs her doppelganger in the chest with the fire poker.
Oh, but she takes some damage in the process.
she gets stabbed.
And
she
she-
gets shamed
She's wearing this like
multiple
white
times.
hoodie, and the more the movie goes on, and she takes people
The
out,
more blood
it gets,
Just
and
gets
it turns red,
soaked in blood.
just like their jumpsuits. Yeah, movie layers.
Damn movie.
That was good.
It's
I didn't
a-
even fucking notice that.
I didn't
It's
think
an
about
onion
that.
parfait.
Damn
That's how
movie.
many layers there are.
Onion parfait.
That's how many layers there are. It's both of them. It's
Son-
smelly and delicious.
Son of a bitch. So
Like, you can't make a casserole with this many layers without, like, doubling up on something.
No, man.
the
Better stay out of the kitchen trying to make this
So the
casserole.
You got, like,
Doppelganger-
3 layers of peas in that shit. Like, I see what you're doing. You ain't
The
fooling me.
You gotta use
Ganger
4
is
different types of cheeses
stabbed.
to hold them together.
with the poker, and she starts whistling the song that she was whistling in the Hall of Mirrors, and then she proceeds to choke her with
Her
the
chains.
her
That she
chains.
Oh,
gave
it's
her.
so goddamn brutal. Like,
But
just
just snap her neck.
she
Like,
well she
seriously.
cracked her
But she's already
trachea.
dying.
Has anyone ever been nominated for Best Actress for, like, being in like a horror suspense thriller?
Best murder scene.
Has anyone
think-
ever been nominated for Best Actress for that?
I
Like, for a
Nominated,
movie like
probably
that?
at least somebody, but I don't know if anybody
she
won.
deserves it.
Because
She deserves
Lupita
every award
Nyong'o
for this
deserves a nomination for
She
her
deserves all the
performance in this. Holy
nominations.
shit, it's so good.
Well, there's that thing right after she snaps her neck, where she pauses for a second.
She gets so primal. Like,
yeah,
She's
that's what it is.
Screaming and like,
And then she there's like a maniacal laugh a little bit.
yeah.
Like it's
oh,
over.
she
I
did.
got her.
She did.
I got her for like a second. It's like I got her. And then
it
she's
kind of all starts to come together, you know.
a little
And
bit.
then her son's kind of looking at her because she gets him.
Since he was taken hostage, he's in a locker.
Yes, he was in a locker, and he looks because he could see her through the the slits. So like he kind of
He
gives
watched
her
the
this,
whole thing happen.
He kind of gives her this look
he-
like,
he
who the
get-
fuck are you?
No, he gives her this look like, I know who the fuck you are, if you
Yeah.
ask me.
Yeah.
Definitely. And he had already had that.
I
He's
know.
like,
They
I
already
have
had a
to
scene
walk.
earlier when he saw her like just straight up just slashing a person to pieces with some scissors, and he kind of gave her the same kind of look like this is a little weird for you to be like this. So like that it kind of came to full circle there. So they escape, quote unquote, after that scene, and they're in a car. And they're all just kind of looking at each other. She looks back at her son, and he's giving her a look like I'm pretty sure you're the monster here. And then she has a memory where it finally pulls together, and it shows you that she was the doppelganger the whole time.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's where we
old
officially
switcheroo.
learned that.
And then you see,
And I didn't want to get through. I didn't want to have to talk about the movie to this point, and then now dedicate however much more time we needed to.
Yeah, you have to talk about everything again.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad that we got that out of the way already. But this is where that scene happens. Yes.
but then you see like a top view. It goes to the Shining shot again, and it shows them still doing Hands Across America, and there's like
And it's all the
military
doppelgangers.
Yeah,
military
because
helicopters moving in.
Just checking it out.
When the original Adelaide, I guess we'll call Red, when the switcheroo happened, she got taken down there. She was wearing a Hands Across America T-shirt underneath her Thriller T-shirt,
Yeah.
and it's kind of used as a shrine later on because it's a plan concocted by a child. Her education stopped; she can't speak. All she goes by is what she remembers, and that's Hands Across America. And she remembers hearing about it happening. So that's why the big plan is we're going to be quick, fast, take these people out, and then show ourselves through Hands Across America because that's what good Americans do. She has a line when Adelaide asks her, "Who are you?" She looks at him.
We're Americans.
Americans.
And that's where we get into what this movie is really about. You see what I did? You see what I did?
So what the fuck is this movie about?
Because you remember way back when Aaron asked.
Yeah, I was there.
That's what,
You're making
what
it
I
worse.
thought that this movie was
Making
about.
it worse. Okay,
Because here's how we get into it.
okay. You gonna get into it now? Or you still going? Okay.
Yeah, like like that's kind of where the larger point comes into play is, well, we're Americans. And that's, if you watch, you talk about watching some of Jordan Peele's interviews. If you watch these interviews with him, like he definitely makes that point that we're kind of in a place where we view the other as the enemy, and we never think to look to look inside
To fix our problems.
to see like what causes that reaction.
We're our own worst enemy at this point. We are much more capable of ruining things for ourselves.
So when the perceived villain shows up and they declare themselves as Americans, like that's kind of that's,
and it's identical to the cast, and there's constantly like shots of reflections and everything, and
like that's one of the more heavy-handed pieces
Yes.
of the message to me is that we're Americans line, and just like
Yeah.
just because, well, I mean, yeah, they were conceived on American soil,
well, it's
like,
not just that.
they're
It's-
Americans too. Like we're perceiving these people as the enemy, but these people are also Americans, and I think that's like one of those kind of like larger statements that he's trying to make.
Well, there's a reason the movie's called Us and not Them or They or It or
Right.
the Thing. I mean, Peele
The other.
Peele references it as
Because so often the other is,
Yeah.
especially in horror, like the other is
it's
often
this horrible thing coming for us.
Right.
Peele references, in order to have us, we have to have them come at us. I see it more like it's called us because we're all in it together. Us is a singular group, right?
Like
of multiple
it's
people.
not them that's the enemy.
Oh, there.
It's us
It's
that's the enemy.
subjective. It's right here. Us includes us in this room, all four of us. It includes the people who are attacking us. It's a whole connectivity among all things. So it's like just like he's basically saying this is us shooting ourselves in the foot on purpose and not doing anything about it over and over and over again. And I think it's such a big deal. I will show you a line of people across the country of how big a problem this is that this problem represents.
Yeah.
I do have another very fun theory that I don't think the movie's about, but it's fun to play with. Would you guys like to hear it?
I mean, yeah, I think you hit a lot of the points.
Yeah.
Just now, but if you want to do like a thing that's just
Well,
you
does
know,
anyone
for
else
shits
want to
and
go?
giggles,
I can go last because I think it's fun to play with, but I don't push it a lot. Do you have something, Aaron? Do you want to
Yeah.
go? I'll go last.
I definitely want to get into how I felt about this movie. When I first saw it originally, I was like, okay, so it's a doppelganger horror,
Yeah.
which is very interesting because I love doppelganger horrors.
body
And-
snatchers.
Yeah, Body
Body
Snatchers.
Snatchers is awesome.
But Body Snatchers was obviously like a creation of like Cold War fear, and then you have like The Thing, which is a much
Russians.
more, it's a much more paranoid and much more like broad and confused form of paranoia, and that's why doppelganger horror is very clever because it can always adapt to the situation at hand. But it's always been an exterior one, and this one was an interior one. These doppelgangers, they were not an invading enemy. They were a substrate bubbling upward.
Yeah, it's an uprising.
Exactly. And
It's not an invasion.
And there was no invasion. They were literally us. Mm-hmm. They were us. And that
Them wasn't the enemy. Us was the enemy.
that makes it
And
even
that's-
more
yeah.
fucking terrifying. And that's what makes it such a good use of the doppelganger horror genre. And first of all, that's why Jordan Peele fucking knows his horrors. But he used this form of horror, this genre of horror, so perfectly to represent a different kind of statement.
Yep.
And yeah, it was just awesome all around. I loved it. I just loved it.
Yeah, it was a great horror. It was a great suspense thriller. It was a great.
We're still trying to figure it out.
commentary.
Absolutely.
Still trying to figure it out. Need to see it again.
I will say this.
Gotta give a shot.
We've all literally only seen it the one time.
I will say
and
this.
Just, oh my god, I need to see it again.
It also works if you're not looking for any of that. Like what some people, because he doesn't give you any answers.
Well, I tried to go in clean. I tried real hard to go in clean.
Well,
That was
also
my
like
goal.
if you're not looking for something, and if you choose not to look at, and if you're somebody who doesn't watch movies that way, there are people who like subtext not a thing for them. They just take it on the service, and that's what it is. And
yeah,
that's
you'll
fine.
have a good time. This
Absolutely,
is an
that.
entertaining movie
I have to point out
with
that
a great cast, great cinematography,
Yeah.
great locations.
Great cinematography. Oh my gosh. It's one of the most beautifully
Great
shot
music.
movies I've seen in some time. Like I loved every shot of this movie.
Let's put it this way: their plan to take over is a bad plan, and we don't bring that up at any point while watching it.
Nope, doesn't matter.
because
Yep.
it's not a
Doesn't
plan.
matter.
It's
You
not
just-
a
People
plan.
who don't see sunshine have
yeah.
vitamin D deficiency.
There are
Wearing
some
jumpsuits and sandals, trying to take over the country with scissors. That's not going to work.
there are some movies that you can kind of pick apart, like the little narrative aspects that don't work, and then there are some movies that are that it's not necessarily about these things. It's more about the larger concept because
Yeah.
it's such a high concept.
Yeah, we're into the concept.
That's
Deep.
what the movie is about. And if
Yeah.
that is executed well, and if it's done in a way that keeps you engaged without even being able to notice like all those
then
little
you don't
things.
complain. There's nobody shooting anyone in this movie.
Right, like
Yeah.
then it
Which would
succeeds.
easily solve it,
Then
yeah.
it succeeds in what it needs to be and what it needs to do, and this movie does that.
Yeah, I think it works because Peele understands that for high concept genre films to work, you have to have a personal story holding it together. That's why we care. That's why we get into
That's
it.
the only way to do it.
That's what's up. It works in, we're so curious watching The Matrix, trying to figure it out that we're totally flabbergasted by this. It seems groundbreaking, the entire story of humanity's enslaved by artificial intelligence and all that. And I feel like with Peele, he's really like, I think he's like, I want to make this type of movie, but you got to backtrack it and figure out how to do it. And then I'm also always interested in like, wait, do you write the story and figure out the twist at the end, and then like the other thing comes first, or how much of it do you have going? Is it about what comes first, like the genre you pick to use, or the point you're making? What do you think? Yes. Okay. Fair enough.
Well,
He probably had like I mean I don't know how Jordan Peele's creative process works, but it like
A lot of weed, dude.
just it seems like you would probably come up with the twist and the broader concept kind of simultaneously, like, or at least like sort of a direction that you could go in. And if it was weird enough, then I feel like you kind of know right away what genre your story is going to live within.
Yeah.
Or at least to some degree.
But
Like-
the subtext is always like the meaning, like the point of the movie.
Well, that's-
so I'm guessing that comes in later, and you kind of that's where you go. That's the difference between like your first draft and your second draft, I guess, is tweaking everything to make it kind of fit.
Making it all come together.
Yeah.
But if you're working with high concept, that's the best thing to do is take it with escalating stakes, and that's what this movie worked with. Was you start out small, the stakes are small, and then the stakes escalate rapidly around the middle, and then by the end it's worldwide. Essentially, I mean, not obviously this was just America, but like your stakes have to escalate if you're going to do that, because you have to establish that feeling early on.
I think that the broader point that you're making is just about the pacing of the film, which was very good.
The pacing
it was
Yeah.
like it doesn't lag.
It was
It
believable.
doesn't drag.
Because the stakes rise with the violence.
And
Ooh,
it does.
yeah, it does.
And
Oh,
it
that's
does
good.
It does so gradually that you're never questioning what happens.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you question what's going on in the background, but
you
what
want to know.
see,
You want to
believe.
know the answers of why it's all happening.
Yeah.
But as it's happening, you're not questioning the events as they unfold. You just want to know what's behind them.
Because
Yeah.
the characters are so
And-
well done, and the character, like, you're in the middle of the movie, you're basically just following the four characters until like it comes back all together, and then like it can move forward with the higher
Sure.
situation.
But at no point, even with those sequences, at no point as it drags. It all
No.
makes sense as it unfolds and as it all plays out. But I mean, I don't know about you guys. But I can't recommend the movie enough. Like,
I want to throw the movie at people.
it's fresh.
That's how much I want them to see it.
It's fresh. I mean, like, we don't talk about a whole lot of fresh movies, but this seemed like
Yeah.
one worth talking about.
Should be good. I'm
s-
excited to see this one. Oh.
I don't know when this is going to drop, but odds are it's still going to be in theaters. It had a huge opening weekend, and it's a very high quality movie. I imagine word of mouth is probably going to keep it doing strong for a while. I think the legs are going to be real good on it.
I'm gonna
I
get it on
hope so.
Blu-ray. I'm totally gonna buy this on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's down
I
the
don't-
road that we're talking about. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'm talking about in terms of box office.
It's at 75 right now. Or this
Something
is
like
the
that was the
Tuesday
opening
after
weekend.
It's opening. Yeah.
And like it opened real big. I'm thinking it's going to have great word of mouth. I think it's going to carry. So I don't know when this is going to drop, but if it's still in theaters, like,
Go
man,
see
like,
it, man.
like I'm going to go see it again in theaters.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
That's just where I'm at on it.
I had like,
you got one more thing.
I got one
say
more
real quick?
thing. Yeah, and I don't like this is the this
Before
is
we
my
wrap up?
Yeah, this is my first thing I said walking out of the theater. I don't believe this argument as well because I don't think Jordan Peele's possibly interested in this point of view. But it's fun to play with, so I thought I'd throw it out into the universe. Maybe the movie's saying something about overpopulation because of the rabbits so much. People fuck like rabbits, and they just populate, and there's all these doppelgangers there.
No, I had never considered that. I mean, like,
it's not.
I feel like it's a bit of a stretch,
Yeah.
but it's not out of nowhere.
It's not out of nowhere.
It's not from
They're
nothing.
constantly devouring the rabbits to quell this problem of that. This is a bit old school.
Soiling
there
Green's
used to-
people.
There used to be like a phrase called "the rabbit died," and that is a phrase for when a woman is pregnant. They didn't have at-home pregnancy tests weren't very accurate. They would always have to go to the doctor to find out if they're pregnant. And part of the pregnancy test the doctor would use was some sort of chemical from a rabbit that involved killing the rabbit to get it. So when
They wouldn't just
when
put the
dudes
lime in the
when dudes
coconut?
are like, I need a shot and a bud and to get the hell out of here, the rabbit died. That means his old lady's knocked up and he's skipping town. So I thought maybe that's a few references. It falls into conspiracy territory. It's not enough facts to say this definitely happened, but it's a few things that make you think this can't be coincidence. I don't think that's the point of the movie. I just think it's a cool thing I thought of when that was my first reaction. It's like, well, what is this movie about?
Well,
'Cause the whole time I'm
that's,
trying to figure out what the movie's about.
Well,
I did wonder
that's-
about
It's fun
the
to play
rabbits.
with. I will say
that's-
that.
That is some interesting tidbits of information that Chad happens to know for sure.
I did wonder about the rabbits because I felt
Yeah,
like
what's
there
up with
was
them?
something going on there.
There's got to be some of the rabbits that don't
I
have some of
just
the
kind of
rabbits.
interpreted it as like they reproduce a lot, so they'd be like
Easy to feed them.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the whole thing with the first shot of them being in cages and it was supposed to be representation of the clones being basically like
Prisoners.
prisoner, but not just prisoners, but like experimental animals.
Oh, they are experimented on.
And
Essentially.
I imagine that the rabbits were probably like subjects before the clones were
I
involved.
don't know what the fuck the
I mean,
rabbits
like-
were about. That was weird.
I mean, like, point I'm trying to make is we could be here all night.
Oh,
We
yes.
could- Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
We
with
trying
this
to be
movie.
here all night. Or are we all feeling pretty good on
I'm
on
feeling
where we're
better. I
sitting?
feel like I understand everything a little bit more talking to you guys and getting your perspectives.
I got 5 on it.
Right on.
There is one thing I kind of wanted to bring up that didn't get brought up, though.
What's up, John? Do you want
John's got a thing.
John, you want a mic
John's
for
got to
this?
say
Hey,
a thing.
John's going to jump on the mic for the first time.
John.
I'm excited.
Bullshit.
Oh shit!
Get on the mic. Get on the mic.
Oh, it's
What? Get
happening.
on the mic. Get on
Hello,
the mic.
people.
Right.
John's got 5 on it.
So, movie trivia.
Who was the first person in the chain?
It was the doppelganger of the hippie guy that got killed. Right?
It was the first murdered. Yeah, it was the
shit.
hippie guy, the homeless
First one
hippie
murdered.
guy.
He killed him, and then he took his place waiting, holding out his hands.
And when you see
The first
him,
thing we saw.
Oh.
when you see them in a chain,
Yeah, no, that definitely makes
there
sense.
is a shot that focuses on him, and he looks very happy to be there. I just thought that was worth mentioning. That's all I got.
Well, I mean,
That's great,
the
dude.
movie's probably going to win an
fantastic.
Oscar. So, I mean, like the guy can say he was in an Oscar-winning movie, so I'd be happy too.
Yeah. Great movie, dude.
But all right, so we good?
Good.
We good? Unlike a lot of the characters in this movie.
Yeah, it looks like nobody got out alive.
Nope, they got 5 on it, and it's 5-1, and no one got out alive, and all that kind of fucking bullshit.
You made that kind of work.
I mean, I
Little
tried to. I stumbled on the landing, but it looked good while I was in the air. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the Movie Nights with the Autopsies. My name is Sam,
I'm Chad.
And I'm Aaron.
and thank you so much for listening. We're gonna catch you next time, people. Yeah,
I just slammed your hand on there.
I did. I had to do it.
What's up, crew? If you got any idea of what you would like for us to talk about on the Minute or on Movie Night Autopsy podcast, hit us up on the social medias. You can hit us up on Twitter at movie_autopsy. Check us out on Facebook at Movie Night Autopsy. Always feel free to email us, contact@movienightautopsy.com.